Right guys, video number 17, introduction to placing a trade. Now this is obviously probably the part you've been the most excited about so far, so we're just going to dig straight into it and we're going to go across to the computer and give you a little bit of an idea about how to place a trade and what the different types of trade placings are. Okay guys, we are back in on the display we last left off, so first things first, I'm just going to get rid of that horrible drawing I did. We're on the US dollar Swiss franc chart from before, so we're just going to duck into placing a trade and the introduction to placing a trade. So essentially when you place a trade, you obviously made a decision that you think the chart's either going to go up or down. So with that being said, there are five different ways you can place a trade in the Forex market. Now I'm just going to write them all here for you one by one so that you can take notes if you need to. The first one is what's called instant execution. Okay, the second one is what is called a buy limit order. The third one is called a buy stop order. The fourth one is called a sell limit order. And the fifth one is a sell stop order. Now I'll make these nice and big so they can be visible. Easy enough. That's probably a little too small. Let's go bigger. There we go. Alright, so these are our five different types of trade placing methods. Now, the one at the top here, instant execution, looks to be the odd one out, and that's because it is. Because instant execution is placing a trade at market price. So it is what is also referred to as placing a market order, meaning you're placing the trade right there and then. Now, if you were to, for instance, place a market order here, and you were, I don't know, for example, you wanted to short this position, so you wanted to sell, and you wanted to, say, bank on it coming all the way down here. You would place what's called an instant execution. So you would place a market order right there and then, bang. And that would place an instant trade right there. So you would go in and you would set your coordinates. So you would set, if we go over here, we'll bring up a horizontal line here. We'll place, say, this line here. We're going to make this line red. This would be your stop loss. And the second one we would place down here, for example, and this could be your, oops, wrong one. Okay, we'll go back to that one as red, and this one is your green. Now, we'll also place another one here to symbolize where you started your trade. And this one can be yellow. So if you placed an instant execution sell position, that would be where your trade would open. And of course, you would then have your take profit down here, which is where your trade would close, and you would take your profit. Conversely, if your trade went backwards, your stop loss would be set, for example, here. It would hit the stop loss and it would close the trade out to protect you from any further repercussions in the wrong direction. So that is instant execution. That is a market order. You can also do instant execution using a little box that can be provided in the top of your chart. Now obviously, because this chart's not connected to my broker, I can't bring that up for you on this one. However, what you can have is you can have a little console up in the top corner of your chart when you're using MetaTrader or FXEM, or if you connect your TradingView account to your broker, you can do the same. You can have a big buy and a big sell button. And basically, rather than go to market order and set your take profit and set your stop loss, you can essentially click buy or sell and have your lot size set, and it will instantly open. So there's no mucking around. It's even quicker than going and setting a market order, which is also instant execution. That was just a little bit faster. So that's instant execution. The next two here you'll see are buy limit and buy stop. Now these obviously both refer to buy orders, meaning you're banking on the chart going upwards. Now the difference with these two, as opposed to instant execution is these two, or these four actually rather, are orders that you place, which means you're not opening a trade right there and then, but you are setting an order to open if the chart reaches a certain price. Now, for example, if you wanted to wait for the chart to get down here and then you wanted to, say, place a buy order here for it to go up to here, rather than sit here and wait for it to get here, if you're certain that you want to enter in at this point here, if you're certain that this is a key level, for example, and you want your take profit, which is now the wrong color, you want your take profit to be, say, here. And we'll forget about the stop loss for now. Well, no, actually we won't. No, we'll enter a stop loss in here, and we'll make that red. Now, say this is your, keep doing it the wrong way. That can go up to there, and that can go to there. All right. Now, say this is the order that you want to place. This is the ideal trade you want to place, but it's not there yet, obviously. Still a little way to go. So what you can do is you can set what's called a buy limit order. Now, a buy limit order means that you are placing an order, and when that chart comes down to it, it activates that buy limit order, and it goes in the opposite direction. So you're basically banking on the chart doing something like this, coming down and bouncing off of here after activating your order, and going all the way up here and hitting your target. Now, that again, that's buy limit order, where it bounces off your order and goes in the opposite direction. On the other hand, if you were placing a buy stop order, you would be going straight through your order. So let's just say, for example, we'll wipe that one out, and we'll go back to the cross here, and let's say that you want to enter a trade here, and you want your target to be here, and your stop loss to be here. Now, if you were going to place a buy stop order here, your entry point would be here. But rather than rebound like the last one, you would go straight through all the way to your target here. So that's a buy stop. You're still buying, it's still a buy order, but it's a buy stop because you're going straight through and you're carrying on in the same direction. Whereas, as I mentioned, a buy limit is if it comes down and bounces off, and you get that order opened off the rebound. Same thing for sell limit and sell stop, but just the complete opposite way around. So if you had a sell stop order, this would actually be a perfect example. If you had an entry here, target here, and a stop loss, I don't know, say you want to put a stop here just to keep the ratios good. If you had a sell stop here, you would be banking on the chart going, it would open your sell order and it would go down. And same as before with the sell stop, so that's the sell limit and the sell stop. If you wanted to do a sell stop, say if the chart was here, you would wait for it to come down to here, your order would already be placed, it would go straight through and carry on going. So that's a sell stop when it goes straight through and carries on in the same direction. Sell limit when it rebounds and goes in the opposite direction. Now, the more you immerse yourself in trading, the more you'll probably find that a lot of people do not recommend placing stop orders. They generally recommend placing limit orders if you're going to place orders at all. Now, I personally do the same. If I'm going to be placing orders, they are generally limit orders, they're not stop orders. Because I like to trade on a rebound as opposed to trading on a straight through. But of course, they're there for a reason. People do use them. You just want to make sure that you're not sort of jumping on the wagon at the wrong time, because when you're placing a stop order, you're basically jumping on a bandwagon which could already be midway through its movement, whereas when you're on a limit order, you're banking on jumping into a movement right at the beginning. So for example, if you were to place a stop order, if you had have placed a stop order here, so this would have been a buy stop. If you had placed a buy stop right here, and the chart was here at the time, you would have done quite well out of this. However, if you saw this massive movement, so you decided to place a buy stop, say, let's say here. You saw this big movement, you thought, oh my God, it's going to keep going. So you place a buy stop here. And then it turns around and starts coming right back down. On the other hand, you could have captured this movement using the sell limits. So you would have placed a sell limit here, and you would have gotten on right at the start, as opposed to getting on midway. That's one of the things that I sort of urge people to steer away from, is jumping onto a mid-movement, jumping on the bandwagon halfway through, because it can bite you a lot of the time. So those are essentially the 5 different ways that you can place a trade. Now, when you go in to place your trade, now every platform's got a different way of doing it, but once you find the order platform, the order page, you're going to be faced with a few boxes you have to fill out. Now, one of them is going to be if you're placing an order, one of them is going to be your entry point. So it's going to be the number or the level on the chart at which you want to enter. You don't have to fill that out, obviously, for instant execution or market order, because it's going to be where it is. That is where you're going to enter. Now, you're also going to have to choose your take profit and your stop loss levels if you want to. And you're also going to want to choose your lot size. Now, if it's a good platform or a good broker, they will show you exactly how much margin is required. So how much money you need to put down from your account to place that trade. And that will buy you your lot size. And I cannot stress enough, don't overdo it with your lot size if you have a smaller account. Make sure you trade in proportion to your account size. And obviously this can be honed and practiced using a demo account, as I've already mentioned. Now, you place your lot size, you set it to the correct amount, a size that isn't going to blow you out of the water, and you set your take profit, you set your stop loss, and if it's a good broker or a good platform, it will also show you what your figures would be. So how much you would make if it hit take profit, how much you could stand to lose if it hits your stop loss. And then once you're ready, you click go or OK, and that opens an instant trade, and you can generally see it on your chart. Now, if you're placing an order, similar thing. So you choose your lot size, you choose how much you're going to put down on that trade, which is your lot size anyway. It's all in the same interface. The next part is you're going to want to choose your entry point, so the level at which your trade will open, and you're also going to want to select your take profit and your stop loss, and make sure that the numbers are not crazy. So you want to make sure that, for example, if you've got a $1,000 account, that if it hits stop loss, you're not going to lose $500 of that, because you definitely would not want to do that. And that is all there is to it when it comes to placing trades. There's not really much more to it. It's quite simple, it's quite straightforward, but definitely very exciting. All right, I'll see you in the next video.